All right, we're back for another match preview. Look, I couldn't care less about this particular season anymore, and I can't be bothered doing these previews. But look, we're definitely going to talk about Chelsea lineup, my lineup, not even a predicted lineup, the lineup that I want to see. But before we talk about that match that's coming up later tonight, I want to go through some news, Chelsea news, specifically certain things that Thomas Tuchel said in the press conference, most notably what you can see in the screen. And I want to go through some heartbreaking transfer news as well, which, might not go down that well. But let's get on with it.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
Right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get straight into this. Thomas Tuchel said in the press conference something that I think we need to understand at a deeper level, and we need to figure out what does this really mean. So it goes something like this. Tuchel on Chelsea next season. We will be competitive. On which level? We will see. We are rebuilding, not improving the squad. We are rebuilding. In a certain sense, he's probably right. We're not really improving on what we have. We are basically rebuilding because a lot of players are going to leave. A lot of players that we want them to leave as well. Let's try and understand this. Rebuilding, is it really a rebuilding? Let's really actually try and deep this. Antonio Rudiger, as a player that is a huge factor for us. We didn't want him to go, and he's having to leave now. Okay, so we're not really improving there. We're basically letting go of a very good player, and hopefully we can bring in someone who is a top player, but I don't know if we're going to get in the same caliber of Rudiger. So from that perspective, I'm not sure if we're really improving. So from that perspective, Thomas Tuchel is correct. Marcos Alonso, I think him leaving is probably a good thing for us. So we are probably improving there. Some may say otherwise, that Marcos Alonso has been a very good servant for us, scored goals, assists, but I think his attributes, we can find a better upgrade. So from that perspective, it's probably an improvement. Azpilicueta most likely leaving as well. This could be looked at either way. It could be a sort of a rebuild because that's a captain, that's a legend. Thomas Tuchel has high praise on this particular player, but at the same time, this player is declining. So we do need to improve on it. So that could be a half rebuild, half improvement situation. Andreas Christensen, look, at the end of the day, whatever we want to say, he has been a top defender under Thomas Tuchel. Obviously, in recent times, it hasn't gone down well the way things have transpired. For me, this will probably be from that rebuild scenario as opposed to an improvement, because to find a level of defender of Christensen's caliber, that ain't going to be that easy either, regardless of all the other nitty-gritty issues that we've had. At the end of the day, Christensen's been a very, very good defender. So we're losing a very good defender there. So up front, probably in terms of some of the forwards, yes, we need to probably let go of them for improvement. So from that, I don't know if that's really a rebuild. In midfield, we probably need to do a rebuild because what's going to happen with Jorginho and Kante? So overall, ladies and gentlemen, Thomas Tuchel's probably right. It's next season is really a rebuild kind of season, in my opinion. I agree with Thomas Tuchel. What does this really mean? Is he sort of setting a standard for us, ladies and gentlemen? Is he sort of gives an indication what the expectation should be for next season? Because if it's a rebuild, how do we expect to catch up on Liverpool and Man City when they are improving every single window? So is Thomas Tuchel sort of laying down the gauntlet and telling the Chelsea fan base that, look, guys, you need to calm down. You need to stay a little bit more patient because next season, as he said, we will be competitive. On which level, we don't know because it is a rebuild. It is a rebuild. So that's an interesting factor to think about, ladies and gentlemen. I want to know from you guys how you feel about this particular comment. Do you think it's a rebuild? Do you think we need to be highly competitive against Liverpool and Man City? Or do you think we still need a couple of more windows in order to keep improving the squad so Thomas Tuchel can eventually truly compete against those two bad boys out there? I highly doubt we're going to go out there and buy 6, 7, 8, 9 players. That's probably what we need in this rebuild. But he's probably right. We need a bit more time. I think he's trying to set the standard. Chelsea takeover is set to go ahead despite late fees could be completed by this week or early next week, as Premier League are set to wave through Todd Bowley's consortium. This, I cannot stress enough how badly we need this to happen ASAP. We are falling behind, whereas our competitors are out there talking and getting deals done. And I'll showcase to you a couple of transfer news that's going to shock you. A few players that we're linked with, but they're getting snapped up because the conversations, we can't have those conversations as yet. So those players are not going to stick around waiting to see what happens with us, because God knows when it's all going to, sort of settle down. Yes, Todd Bowley could get the go-ahead from the Premier League, hopefully by the end of this week or early next week. But then what about the sanctions? What's the government going to do? Are they going to lift the sanctions immediately? We don't know. So that's the other situation. Just because Premier League might give us a green light with Todd Bowley, that doesn't necessarily mean the government will all of a sudden say, okay, well, the sanctions are off as well immediately. That could take a little bit of process as well. It should go off, but that could have a little bit of processing time too. Discussions well advanced between Marcos Alonso and Barcelona. Alonso wants to return to Spain immediately. Deal will ultimately depend on Chelsea's price tag. Look, this guy doesn't want to stick around. We as a fan base, majority, don't want him to stick around either. Thank him for his services. Let's get this done. As soon as the ownership situation is done and dusted, the sanctions are over, let's set up a price for Alonso. I think he's only going to have one more season left after this season. So, look, if we can squeeze out, 10, 15 million, that's probably what Barcelona can afford as well. Let's get this done. Let's get this done and put that away for better use to replace this particular player. Okay, here we go. The first of the heartaches in regards to players that we link with. Up to you whether you think it's a heartache. I personally, I don't know whether it's really a heartache, but it's a player that we've recently been linked with, and I guess the thought of having him in our team, we could have benefited. But let's see what's social media saying. A Polish journalist, Pini Zahavi, is actually at home in London, not Barcelona. Gerard Romero on Gigantes FC is one of those Twitch guys in Spain, but massive following. He seems to have some internal information. I have proof that Zahavi was in Barcelona. This is Lewandowski's agent. More, Romero. He says he has clear pictures of the shirts that are being bought by Zahavi with Lewandowski's name on it, but out of respect for his sources, he won't reveal them immediately. If the transfer is done, only then he'll be able to. Further goes on to say, Romero says Pini Zahavi left the club store at 5:10 p.m. today. And lastly, Romero still going, says Zahavi got 10 Barca shirts with Lewandowski's name on it, having number 9. Look, we all know Lewandowski. I think he wants Barcelona. It's well documented. Yes, we are linked with him. Yes, we've tried to get him previously as well, apparently before even Lukaku. I think this player wants Barcelona. So it's very difficult to convince a player to come to a different club when his heart is set on a particular club like Barcelona. So, and here's the image. Apparently, this was the image that Gerard Romero had. Lewandowski's agent came to one of Barca's official stores with 10 Barca jerseys to stamp the player's name on it. Look, I think us as a fan base probably need to forget about Lewandowski being part of Chelsea next season. I think, look, it's going to be very difficult to get rid of Romelu Lukaku. We'll probably have to accept the fact that Romelu Lukaku is going to be a Chelsea player, and we have to think about how we can design a team around him next season. Let me know how you feel about Lewandowski to Barca. Were you excited that there was a possible link with Chelsea? How do you feel about Lukaku probably next season? This is another heartbreak, ladies and gentlemen. This is going around everywhere. Boubacar Kamara was one of the DMs that we talked about, and a player that can play as a CB as well. Versatile. But there's massive talks that he is now Atletico Madrid bound. It's very close. Breaking: Boubacar Kamara to Atletico Madrid is nearly closed. There are small details left. This is Mate Moreto, Atletico Universe, 17.2k followers. And it's been covered by a lot of people, a lot of social media outlets out there. Breaking: Boubacar Kamara has reached an agreement with Atletico Madrid. The announcement is expected for the end of season. He's going to be on a free as well. So this one hurts. This one hurts. And as you can see, it's been covered by a lot of people. Fabrizio Romano as well. Boubacar Kamara is very close to joining Atleti. Manchester United were in the race, but Kamara said he wasn't interested in downgrading and also does not want to play with a... Well, okay, don't want to say that out. Atleti is only option he is considering. Fabrizio Romano. I highly doubt Fabrizio Romano said all of that. But bottom line, there's a lot of talk about Boubacar Kamara going to Atletico Madrid. And that's another player we're missing now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's now talk about this particular match coming up. Look, Arsenal, they're done and dusted. They thought they were going to get the third position. Now they can't even get fourth. So we don't need to worry about from that perspective. We've made Champions League. We've got 2 games in hand. Spurs got 1. I think Spurs are only about, 2 points behind us. So all it needs from us is a draw in the next 2 games for us to secure top, the third position finish. I can't be bothered, honestly, anymore. These next 2 games, I don't even know how the players are what sort of mentality they're going to turn up with. They're probably on holiday. FA Cup was everything that they wanted to give, and they did give that. We played 120 minutes. I don't expect many of those players to start. Some will start. They have to. We don't have, backups for every single one of those players. But we could possibly see a whole, sale of changes in this particular match. So, look, Leicester are in a bit of a form as well. They haven't had a very good season. Brendan Rodgers did say in his press conference the match against us was probably the best match he's played this season. Well, the toughest opposition he's played this season. When we spanked them, I think 3-0 or 4-0. I think it might have been 3-0. We did play really well. Ben Chilwell was really good. Ziyech and Pulisic off the bench was really good. We were in a really good momentum, and then we took that against Juventus, I remember, and we played really well as well. And then, obviously, everything went downhill from that once Chilwell got injured. Leicester's finishing off the season with a bit of form. I think they've just... they're coming off a 5-1 or 5-2 victory against, I can't remember who it was. So they could possibly look at this situation and feel like they could fancy this. We are at home, but then again, our home form has been rubbish. If there's any pride, from these players, finish off the season, I think the last 2 games, which is Leicester and Watford, are both at home. So finish the season off in front of the home crowd with something to cheer about. Then again, what is there to cheer about? We're going to finish third anyway. So let's get straight into the team, ladies and gentlemen. Look, do I give Kepa an opportunity? Yeah, maybe I do. What's there to lose? He hasn't played for a very long time. He has to leave. Why not leave with a bit of a farewell match in front of Chelsea Stamford Bridge fans, whatever they're going to be available. We still have sanctions. I'll give Kepa an opportunity. Mendy can take a bit of break. Kepa probably needs to leave, so why not have Kepa? Rudy probably needs to keep on playing. These will be his final 2 games for the club, and I think he'd want to play that. Silva is not going to be risking this match. 120 minutes played, limped off, so I don't expect him to play. So who plays in the middle? Christensen, I don't know what's going on. Thomas Tuchel said a lot of stuff about Christensen, a lot of questions. And I don't know exactly how Thomas Tuchel... At one point, he seemed like he was a little bit understanding about the situation, but at the same time, I didn't feel like he was sympathetic. He was like, yeah, this has happened previously with Christensen. He's fit, but he's not well enough to start a game. And it's happened previously just before a match started where he was looking to start, but then he's pulled out. And it seemed like Thomas Tuchel was frustrated about this situation, but at the same time, he understands that the player is a high-quality player, and if he could play, he would have played. He said that. The thing is, he was unable to play. So I don't know whether he's going to play. He himself doesn't know whether he's able to play. I think that is the end of Christensen. I don't think he's going to play ever again for Chelsea Football Club, which is sad. He doesn't get to say goodbye, maybe off the bench. I don't know. So who plays in the middle? I think it has to be Chalobah. It has to be Chalobah. What does that mean on that right CB position? I definitely want Reece James to play on the wings. But then again, he's played 120 minutes, so God knows what's going to happen there. I'd mix it up. I'd mix it up. Honestly, Reece James, does he really need to be risked for this particular match after playing 120 minutes against Liverpool not that long ago? Probably doesn't. Look, I'll play Aspie. Aspie didn't play that particular match, so I'll play Aspie in RCB role. Why not have Ruben Loftus-Cheek? Ruben Loftus-Cheek has played this position previously. Let's play Ruben Loftus-Cheek as a wing-back. Jorginho has to play, even though he's played for us against Liverpool, and he was very, very good against Liverpool. I can't see how Kovacic is not going to be able to play. He's injured. His ankle can barely fit a shoe, let alone drop into a field now. And yeah, he probably shouldn't have played against Liverpool, but he was risked. But I can't see him being risked for this particular match or against Watford. Kante is still probably not completely match fit, so I wouldn't risk him either, if I'm being absolutely honest. I'm playing Ziyech over here, so I'm going with 5 in the middle, including obviously the wing backs. And what's up with Saul? You know what I mean? Better call Saul. Is he part of Chelsea? I've been wanting to see him. So can we give him some minutes? So I'd play with Jorginho, Saul, and Ziyech in the middle. In here, Alonso, we don't really have any other proper options out there. So Alonso, Kennedy, can he play? I don't know. He hasn't featured. So I'm not really sure what's going on. Alonso, final 2 matches for Chelsea. This is your chance to say goodbye. Up front, I continue on with Lukaku. See if he can keep banging in goals. See if he can keep getting some sort of confidence up and running. It wasn't the greatest against Liverpool, so he'd probably want to change that against Leicester. So let's keep playing him. Who partners him? That's the biggest question. I think Mount deserves a bit of a break. Christian Pulisic wasn't great, to be honest. Timo Werner, is he fit? He wasn't ready against Liverpool. Had some hamstring sort of situation. Kai Havertz back into training, but I don't know if he's going to be back into the team. So maybe Timo Werner. Timo Werner, Lukaku up front. If Kai Havertz is match fit, then of course I'd play Havertz. But this is the team, ladies and gentlemen, for me. Kepa in goalkeeping position, Rudiger, Chalobah, Azpilicueta, Jorginho, Saul, Ziyech, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Alonso, Timo Werner, Lukaku. I'm just rotating things around now, to be honest. Give some players a bit of a chance to impress, and let's see what happens. At home, I'd love to see a 2-0 victory. Highly doubted, though. I think this team is probably going to concede. So maybe it's going to be, 2-1, 3-1. Is Chelsea going to be able to score 3? Probably not. Maybe 2-1 situation. Maybe even a draw, 2-2 draw. It's probably got a draw written all over it, if I'm being absolutely honest. It's probably going to be a basketball game. It'll be a 2-2 draw. That's my prediction, to be honest. 2-2 draw. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts on this particular match. How you feel about it? Would you make all of these changes? It doesn't really mean anything to us anymore. We've made Champions League. Who cares? These are just free hits. These are just allowing some certain team members to get some last hurrah and see what they can do. Let me know your thoughts on the team. Let me know your thoughts on the news about rebuilding and improvements from comments on Thomas Tuchel and some of those transfer news. How you feel about that? Ladies and gentlemen, if you've enjoyed this, smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. We are so close to 12,000 subscribers. Let's get there. See ya.